No, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hey,
All right.
am I live?
Yes, we're live, right? Yes. Yes, we're
Geez, okay.
live. So
Um,
if you're ready to start, we can jump into this.
I am ready to start. It's been past the middle of the week. I was just going to say I'm just getting started for the week, but I got my weekdays confused. Uh,
Mic off.
Number one, thank you everybody for joining us. This is our second or third session. Hopefully, we'll get better at answering everybody's questions, and hopefully, we can answer it with good accuracy as best as
Mic
we know
on.
it. Uh, that being said, um, just one piece of news that I would like to bring everybody's attention to is that we are going to be at the Assembly Show in Chicago at Rosemont on October 26th, 27th, and 28th. We have about 400 square feet worth of space that we have leased or rented. We are planning on showing Pool Buddy. We're planning on showing Pool Buddy Junior. We're planning on showing Botway, and we're planning on showing our wireless scissor lift. And we're going to be showing that all working in concert, simulating an assembly operation. And the base of Pool Buddy Junior is a Wanda base, which is exactly what we wanted to do engineering wise. Nothing we develop is only one, it's not a one shot use. It was supposed to grow, and now it has grown into something that would lend itself into a distribution center, a micro automation center, or warehouse. And you will see that in the video clip we're planning on releasing tomorrow. We did get the video ready, but a couple of people were not satisfied with some of the moves, and they are honing in this morning. And hopefully, we'll have an unnarrated clip before the day is out, and probably a narrated one sometime tomorrow for people to be able to see. And I think we'll be posting it on Twitter or whatever the proper format is going to be. It'll be there. That's about all I have to say. The entire building is focused on getting ready for the show. Getting everything packed up and getting out there is not the easiest thing in the world. But we have a seasoned team, and I think we'll be able to make a very, very good debut for the product and for the company because it'll be our first outing in terms of being able to showcase ourselves. That being said, you can fire away at questions.
Awesome. Very exciting. Very exciting. All right. So, yeah, as we all know, I'm Tony from MediaTek. Today we have CEO of RGGI, Mr. Patel, with us. And yeah, let's jump into some of these questions. So from TK, I have a question about any updates on the Southeast Regional Office in Florida.
I have an update, and the update is we have not been successful at recruiting, personnel for that office. So it's kind of spend a day flying in from here, spend a day addressing a couple of customers' issues, and then come back. We are looking for people in that area to go ahead and become part of our staff, but it's just not happening fast enough. And so the answer to your question is accurate that we have an office, and it's accurate that we have fulfillment problems in terms of staffing. We continue to look. If anybody has any resumes, send it to me. I'll be glad to pass it on to the right people. We can get started right away. There's products to be sold.
Awesome. Okay. All right. That sounds good. Where in Florida is the office located?
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Okay. Beautiful.
It's in the midst of. There's a lot of lodging facilities. There is a lot of retirement communities. There is a lot of assisted living facilities. So our first survey was that there was a lot of interest in Wanda ST. But as we progressed along, we found out that that particular interest was a little bit fleeting. But what I can tell you is, if people go to our website now and look at products, there is something called Wanda MC. It, yeah, it is a manual device based on a Wanda base, and it looks pretty neat. You actually have a remote control, and you'd be able to go ahead and set a timer on it. The lamp comes out if somebody walks in by mistake. It has radar built into it, so the lamp will go down, shut itself off. When the person leaves, it'll come back right on. Um, so anybody in housekeeping can now take it with them. They don't need an Android phone, and they don't need a rocket scientist to come in and say, "I'm going to turn that on for you." But it is a very elegant looking device, and it is available. I don't want to say immediately because I have supply chain issues that are very, very severe, but it would be available within a 2 week time frame if the order was placed today. Um, we are thinking that everything that we're supposed to get in for parts is beginning to happen, but I'm of the belief until it's in my warehouse out here in front of me, I'm not ready to, take make a commitment. But again, the description is on the website under products. I look under Wanda ST.
All right, awesome, awesome, and yeah, hopefully everything's coming in, everything's starting to pick back up as far as the parts and everything goes.
Well, you're optimistic. I've been optimistic for well over 4, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks now. We have half built Wanda SDs lined up in the hallway. There's no place to put them. They're
Oh,
just sitting there, half assembled, waiting for some parts. There's actually 3 or 4 different parts missing in there. Wanda ST, we believe we have all the parts, but there's still one shipment that hasn't come in. We believe it's going to be here before 7 o'clock on Friday, but I've seen that note numerous times, and until it's in, I'm not going to make a commitment. But I believe we're very, very close. Not there, but very close to being able to go ahead and ship those units as well.
all right, all right. Well, let's keep our hopes up and hope everything goes as planned.
Yeah. By the way, on the supply chain issues, I visited a company yesterday, a sister, not a sister company, but somebody we are closely affiliated with and will be working with in the future, very near future. And when you walk into their facility as well, you can see the shelves are just bare, and there should be all kinds of electrical components out there. And I believe they come from Taiwan and a couple other places out on the from the other side of the world, and it is nothing but barren. It's scary, to say we can't do assembly because we're waiting on parts, and then genuinely we're waiting on parts, right, for the UPS guy to show up and say, "Is he bringing it today?" So,
Okay. All right, so that kind of answers our second question, but another part of that question was: is there any way that we can? Is there anything we could do to maybe prevent this in the future?
well, I thought I was very clever, and I thought I was the smartest guy on the face of the earth when I ended up telling on the last Q&A when somebody asked. I said, "Yeah, we mitigate that by putting smaller orders in."
Mic off.
Well, smaller orders are not showing up either. So that's that.
Mic
But
on.
what we have done is, and I'm going to get it wrong, but it will be correct at the end of the day. We are now beginning to fly in the parts. We're not relying on deep sea freight being coming in via the ports. This last shipment we have is actually flown in from Guangzhou to Ontario, California, and from there it's being trucked up to us. So we think we may have found a way, but I don't think it works for all the parts all the time. And those airlanes now are, I'm told, also getting booked up between now and the end of the year. So things are just going to get tight. It's I don't want to say, if you get lucky, things come in, but you got to get yourself into the line, into the queue, so that you can even bring in the shorter amount of parts. So basically, it's dwindled down to now getting parts flown in smaller quantities. That's where we're at right now.
Okay. All right. So from Michael's during the last Q&A, Mr. Patel mentioned a pilot program using a pull buddy with a major Fortune 10 or Fortune 500 company. What is the status of this collab, and when will the name of the partner be made public?
The name of the partner will be announced at the show when the principals are going to be there as well. We will put out the name then, and we'll tell you a geographic location at the same time.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, we are excited about it. It's just taken long to get everything ready so that we don't want to be in a situation where we go, yeah, we are doing this, we are doing this, we are doing this, and it takes forever to get started, and then people get frustrated and tired, of listening to the same story over and over again.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell us more about the website redesign? There are now two different Wandas available, the SD and the more basic ST. Why the
Right. Go ahead.
why the introduction of the ST?
The introduction of the ST was always in the works. We just could not get it engineered correctly in the pricing we were looking for. Our lamp supplier was really, pretty erratic. The supply wasn't there, and the pricing couldn't be fixed. So we never made the ST has always been sitting on the floor all along, right? But we needed to get the correct pricing together, and that's the reason why it's announced now. We believe we have a stable supplier of lamps, and we believe that we have a way in to go those lamps in. Yeah, and thus the ST. Uh, we also found out that the ST device, if a cleaning company wanted to get it, it was very, very difficult for them to go ahead and operate that. The reason is because it requires an Android phone and it requires connectivity, Bluetooth connectivity. And sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't, because people use their personal devices for different reasons. And we found out that it would be much, much easier if they could take the unit right along with it, just like you take a vacuum cleaner. And we said, okay, yeah, well, just keep that in mind that this is nothing different than an extension of a vacuum cleaner. And now a maintenance guy or housekeeping personnel or janitorial staff can just take this device just like they take anything else, whether it be a fan or a blow fan or a regular vacuum cleaner or a wet mop. It's just like that, and so that's the reason for that release.
Okay. Are there any big customers showing interest in the Wanda product? Should we expect any significant revenue in Q3 or Q4?
The interest is there, but to close the deal, it takes a lot longer. If you get on a large company, there is a lot of people who have to sign off on it, right? And the problem turns out to be that by the time you get to the 15th person, 16 weeks have gone by. But because you got to tell the same story locally and then regionally and then nationwide, and that begins to be difficult. I've been just chomping at the bit, to announce who we are working with. But I know that the contracts are not in, and I know that all the I's haven't been dotted and T's haven't been crossed. So to pre-announce that, it was just simply not true. To say we have a deal, but are we working with them? As late as yesterday, the guys were still out there talking to them. Basically answering questions that needed to be answered. So that people up and down the organization are very comfortable with what we're offering.
All right, good.
Plus, they're also waiting for our UL approval to come in as well, and that is probably not in the final stages, but that's quite a ways in. Yeah, so I think that should be forthcoming probably within the next month or so.
All right, very good. So at least we got something in the works.
Yes, we're just so everybody's aware. We are continuously working on these things, right? The idea here is to get the sales in, but to get the sales all lined up, you've got to be able to satisfy the customer, the guy who's writing the check. He or she has got to be satisfied with what they're getting, and there's a lot of questions, and in our case also on the manual unit, you know, it's not as easy to transport because it has a handle on it. Well, we needed to redesign the handle again so that it comes out while you're transporting it. So that complicates matters a little bit, but anyway, it's done, and we're moving right along.
All right, beautiful. All right, now this is going to be one of our last questions, guys. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to ask them in the RGGI Q&A chat on the Discord now so I can get it out there. If not, I can always reach back out to Mr. Parsh and see if I can answer any of your questions before the next Q&A. But with that said, getting into the last question we have from Ali, what is the long-term view for this company? It seems that it could be a good target for a buyout once it starts to generate revenue. Is a buyout down the road the goal or something you would consider?
We would, in the business I'm in, you leave every option open, right? We know that we have to have sales. We know we need to grow over the next 2 to 3 years. We know we need to go ahead and find strategic partners. We also need to showcase uh, how this technology extends itself over the next 3, 5, 7 years down the road. That's the reason why when I talk about Industry 4.0, it's important that people who are listening to this pay attention because 4.0 is where all the
Mic
action is going
off.
to be. And the products we have
Mic
right
on.
now on the floor are all 4.0 compliant, and they fit extremely well in the 4.0 ecosystem. I'm never the one to go ahead and complain or contrast ourselves with legacy companies. But when you take a legacy company that has products and they're trying to get to a 4.0 compliant in a 4.0 compliant mode, it's a huge step. In our case, we don't have that, and we just get to start out with a fresh sheet of paper and just actually move forward. And that's why, if you think about it, and we've not been working that long, but this month is pretty much 1 year anniversary since we kicked off this particular company in a pretty intense way, and here we are, three products going to a show at the end of October. We'll be making some major announcements, and I will be. You look at Pool Buddy, and somebody comes along and says, "Hey, can we have it?" I think I may be in a position to be able to say, "Yeah, we can meet some delivery towards the end of December or early January." Because we have all the parts that we need to make the pool buddies already ordered, and we have some potential deliveries. Our vendors are quoting if they're true to their word, we'll have vehicles running around, actually up for sale.
Okay, awesome. All right, I got another question that came in. Is there any more information about the Botway software?
Well, there, I would have to look at the website to see what we have posted out there, but there is a lot of collateral that is being getting, we're getting ready to be able to post it. But the best proof of this thing is going to be when you see Botway run on the show platform, and you're going to see all the vehicles controlled by it, in terms of traffic control and also other sensory controls, anticipatory and otherwise. But it's going to be there. That software is AI based, and it is literally state of the art. People who are in the know are comparing with with other huge companies that have traffic control. I think we're setting a standard out there that it's going to be uh, pretty difficult for people to catch up on the short run
Very
because it's
nice.
feature rich and awfully easy to integrate. New features and awfully easy to integrate. New functionality on a floor.
Okay. So does RGGI own the IP?
RGGI owns the IP 100%. Yes.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Very nice. What is the value of the software, do you think?
Well, I'm struggling to work with that with our accounting people right now. I don't want to put a number out there, but we will be able to give you other reference numbers for a piece of software that's a whole bunch less than what we are, and then we're going to go ahead and let the marketplace decide what it is. I'm not meaning to say marketplace is going to decide whether it's 5 million or 10 million or 2 million, but there'll be a very good guidance to be able to say this is what approximately what it is.
Okay. Very nice. All right. So now, is there anything else you would like to say or fill us in? with before?
No, what I want to say is I'm hoping that people who have taken keen interest and asking what is it that we do, Chicago Rosemont is probably the best place to find out because everything we do is going to be there. Everything we talked about is going to be there. Anybody who can explain how our systems fit into the supply chain and manufacturing facility, we're going to be able to talk about it because subject matter experts are going to be on hand there to be able to go do that. So we're really excited to showcase our products, and we're hoping the listeners, can at least pop by the booth and see us.
And you're saying that's going to be by the end of October, correct?
It is, yes, it's October 26th, 27, and 28.
Okay. All right, beautiful. Is there how do we go about buying tickets to that if needed?
I personally don't know. I think that you would have to register, with the show guys. But I think what we'll do is put it in the ever FAQ. We'll go ahead and put out how to get registration done.
All right, awesome. All right, Mr. Patel. I think that wraps up today's Q&As. I have no more questions to ask. If you have nothing else to say, I think we did good on hitting the questions that were asked. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. The end of October, we have like what, 2 more weeks? Not even.
Yeah, 2 more weeks, and certainly thank you for your time, and thank you for all the questions that have come in.
Yes.
Try and answer them best as we can. I'm sure there will be other questions that'll come in. Just email it to us, and we'll try and do our best to get to it, and we'll just go from there.
All right, beautiful. This sounds good to me. All right, Mr. Patel, I hope you have a great rest of your week and looking forward to this, and we will talk shortly.
You too. Have a good day.
All right. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. And any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and I will make sure I reach out to him and get you guys answers. All right, have a great rest of your week, and talk to you next time.